We have a woods in the Rum River Valley that is extremely thick. And there's two parts of the woods. There's the parts of the woods on this side of the creek where there's trails. And you can get down there at night and get through it as long as you stay on the trails and on this side of the creek. But there's the other side where there's no trails and it's extremely thick brush. It's full of potholes that are 5-6 feet deep. Some are 10 feet deep. There's fallen trees. The brush is so thick, and there's thorns, and then it goes to the edge of the river, and it just, at night, you can't see 10 feet as far as your headlights go. Well, one night we had one little spot that we could get over to this part of the woods in the day, and we could always get back out. But at night, one night we went across this little creek. Keep in mind, this is the only spot of this creek you can cross, and it's a vast woods. So we crossed at that one point at night, and that night it was clouds, and I was only going to go in like 100 feet and turn around and come right back out. And we got in there about 100 feet. I went to turn around, started coming out, and there was a fallen log. I'd already turned wrong because there was no trails, no reference points. And all of a sudden, I could not tell where I was. I'm thinking we should be back to where we came in now, but it was getting thicker, and all of a sudden there's a big log in front of us, and it's like, oh no, we got to turn around. And at night, you just literally can only see 10 feet in front of you, and every tree looks like the other tree, and we have to go slow now because then we come up upon this, looks like a black spot. Well, it's a big deep hole full of water. We could have fallen into it, and then we backed up and we kept going in what we thought was the right direction. And pretty soon my friend says to me, "Do you know where we're at?" I says, "I think I'm lost." And I didn't know how to get out of there. So we're wandering through the woods, getting deeper and deeper in it, and we're constantly coming up against big logs that we can't get over, or we have to go around, and we're being steered further and deeper into it, and there's potholes. And I just finally was extremely fearful at that point and prayed, "God, help us get out." And we're going through, and finally we found the spot. Because any other spot, you would not be able to cross that little creek. And you'd have to keep going back, and then, because it's so dark, probably never would have got out until day broke. But I guess my point is, the Bible speaks of the deceitfulness of sin. And some people think, oh, I can go into this sin a little ways, and I'll turn around and come back out. But when you do that, it's very dangerous. Jesus said to not walk in darkness. Jesus said He was the light of the world, and that if you had Him, you will not walk in darkness. And to think that you can navigate sin, you're very foolish, because you'll get lost in it. You may even fall in one of the potholes of sin and never get out. You may get so deep into it that you exhaust all your resources and also perish. It's always good to stay on the trail. If we had stayed on the trail, not crossed over the little creek into the dark woods, we wouldn't have had a problem. Jesus says don't, transgress, If you follow Him, you have the light of life. Jesus said, stay on His path. His path is the narrow way. Wide and broad is the way of the world, and many follow that. But just want to say there is a parallel, that if you think you can walk in darkness, think again. Because it's very disorientating. In Hebrews it talks about the deceitfulness of sin. Sin is darkness, and you walk in the darkness, you will stumble. Stay on the trail, walk in the light. Amen.